Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
My table is shaking there. It's not an earthquake. It's March 25th. March is almost over. The first quarter is almost concluded. And here we are wearing our turtlenecks because it's not warm in Chicago yet. Hello, surprise.
Or it's turned cold again.
Yeah, exactly right. We're going to warm up. It's going to be great. So we are coming to everybody with all kinds of news today, aren't we?
Yes. We are here to answer your questions, even the ones you haven't asked us.
That's right. That's right.
And show you pretty properties.
Fun properties too. Yes, I'm Anne.rossley. I'm here with my dear friend and colleague, Kyle Harvey. We sell real estate in downtown Chicago with Baird & Warner's Gold Coast office. We are in the Neiman Marcus building. If you want to get a look at, but right now we're broadcasting from our homes. When you have questions, call us, email us, DM us. Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channels to see our future shows. And of course, we are always here and available to answer your questions and help you with your real estate needs. And with that in mind, today we're talking about the NAR headline about the big settlement, the big $418 million elephant in the room that, I don't know about you, Kyle, but my clients, when I chat with them on the phone, I'll say, so what do you hear about real estate these days? And they go, I don't know. I hear this stuff and I don't really understand it. Is that kind of what you're hearing too? So today we're going to dispel all that and chat.
Yes. And we're going to put our names up first so that you never forget who's who.
Oh, but then I'm going to have to take them down though.
Oh, you're taking them down because we're doing stats. Let's do stats.
No. Let's do stats second. This is the big deal. What do you think? Okay. So headlines. And I've got a weird thing on my screen I need to get rid of. I don't know why that is the dictionary, whatever. Oh, there we go. So basically, the buyer broker and listing broker commissions are uncoupling. The big news is that we cannot publish cooperating commissions in the MLS any longer as of July. Now, this is the settlement offer. It hasn't been agreed to, but we're expecting this to go forward in some form or another. Right, Kyle?
Yes. And I think NAR has decided to do this notwithstanding anything else. So people, just so you know what's been going on, there have been lawsuits that originally from sellers saying, by making us sellers pay 100% of the commissions out of the transaction, you're inflating our costs illegally, and it's price fixing. I don't have a choice but to pay the buyer's broker, and so they said that money, I should be keeping that money for myself and not paying the buyer's broker. The buyer should have to pay their broker. Right. At the same time, the Department of Justice has been looking at this same issue, prompted by the fact that all these lawyers sued brokerages. And so they are saying, you know what, some of your rules, including this where you have to force compensation, is problematic. They haven't come out and said specifically that it's price fixing, but of course they're going to say it's price fixing. So in any event, because all of this is going on, the real estate industry is changing its rules, getting ahead of whatever comes down at the end, and is now saying, or will say in July, even if the settlement with NAR, National Association of Realtors, is not accepted in the litigation, they're going to impose these new rules that say, while you can offer compensation to the buyer's broker as part of the deal to try and sweeten the deal to sell your home, you just can't put that information in the MLS.
Okay, so what do you say to this? Up until now, I, as a seller, let's say I offer $500. I'm just picking a number.
Yep.
$250 to the listing agent and $250 to the co-op agent.
Co-op agent is the buyer's agent.
Right. Isn't basically the buyer paying the commission anyway because they're paying high enough money that the seller nets what he wants?
So that's what the defendants in the lawsuit argued. The defendants in the lawsuit argued that there isn't money missing from the transaction that should go to the seller because it all nets out that people get paid. I think ultimately what it came down to was you real estate brokers have so much power that you've negotiated, and they say this, and it's not said at this ever, 6% has to be paid to brokers in order to get a home sold. And the decoupling, taking it away from just one party, that it's all on the transaction and it's forced on the transaction, introduces negotiation into the deal with the ultimate goal of lowering commissions across the board. I think that must be what's behind it. They want ultimately to lower the cost of selling property.
So, okay. But the point is, up until now, it's all been an ingredient baked into the cake. Have you,
Absolutely.
Don't you always talk net numbers with your sellers?
I always talk net numbers with my sellers, and I always say, so I've been talking, and we have been talking to our sellers for a while now, saying, especially because in the fall, sellers got the opportunity to offer nothing.
Right.
Before they could offer $1, but now they can offer nothing to the buyer's broker as a commission. And now they can offer nothing. I say to my sellers, you have an option here. You can offer nothing, or you can offer what you're likely to get in your, or you can offer to pay the buyer's broker, because in the transaction, you're going to get an offer from a buyer that says, pay my broker. So you can make it easy for them so that they think, wow, this is a great property. I don't have to pony up extra cash to buy it because it'll all be paid for in the transaction through my mortgage or whatever.
Right.
Yay, I like this property. And our goal when we're selling is to get the most people to come look at and to like your property.
Right.
So interestingly, most of my, let's just be honest, all of my sellers have said, and when I've laid it out and it's entirely their choice, they've all said, you know what, I'm going to offer to pay the buyer's broker a commission that makes my property really appealing. Because that's the goal. At the end of the day, the goal is to find a buyer.
Absolutely. At the highest price in the least amount of time. All right. So buyer agency agreements are going to be mandatory for buyers wanting to look at property. And this is a big change, but I think it's a really good change. I'll bet our viewers out there are like, buyer broker agreements. In the past, very few buyers have signed agreements. Now, that doesn't mean they have to be exclusive, although many agents will refuse to work with non-exclusive buyers because they would like to get paid for the work that they do, right? So what does this all mean for real estate in Illinois?
Well, let's go back. Can we go back just for a quick second to the buyer's agreements? We didn't enter into buyer's agreements before because we got paid out of the transaction. It was pretty much always done. But Baird & Warner has encouraged us to do this, but it seemed like an unnecessary conversation because while we would explain to our buyers that we were paid out of the transaction, we didn't pay for it, or I didn't. I'm going to speak for me. I didn't pay for it.
Right.
But now I do, and I was worried about doing so that it would just people be like, well, I don't know, and actually they've been like, yeah, I expect that. So, right. But it's going to mean, and I think this is true. What do you think, Anne? I think it's going to increase the professionalism of our industry, that people will stop seeing us as shoe salesmen and see us for the professional advisors, really, that we are.
No question about it.
Yeah.
And it will start, it's been a problem in our industry that we have not done a good job of explaining our worth. And, the statistics are that most people do want to hire an agent to represent them in a transaction.
Like 90%, over 90%.
Right. Yeah.
Approach.
Even one of the huge local real estate pundits that we all read was talking to Steve Baird and asked Steve, do you think people are just going to, not use agents anymore? And Steve said, well, you have been in this industry for 30 plus years. You write about it. You know it. Would you ever buy a home without an agent? And he looked right back at Steve and he said, no, I always want to use an agent.
But what it takes then for us real estate agents is the ability to explain our worth and then get a buyer to sign, because we are going to have to do it. We cannot show property without a buyer's agreement. We cannot sell property without a buyer's agreement. I wonder if they're going to start forcing us to show that, put that agreement into the deal transaction so they can police it.
Right. Yeah. Well, they probably will. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Kyle, in Illinois, sellers in a nutshell.
Yes. You decide up front whether you're going to pay or not pay the buyer's agent. And you've got to think about that. Here's the thing. If you offer nothing to the buyer's agent, the buyer is going to expect your price to be lower than perhaps the comps are.
Right.
And the lawsuits and all of this change has been brought on by sellers who are saying, I've been paying 2.5, 3, 2, whatever the number is, % too much. I should keep that money. But buyers are going to expect the price to drop because of it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting in the near future. That's for sure. So, okay. Ring, ring, ring. I'm a buyer. Agent, I'd like to see your listing. No, I don't have a buyer's agent. I'm on my own. What's an agent to do?
One of the things in Chicago is we really have had mostly represented buyers in a transaction. So buyers have always come with an agent. And one of the great things about having an agent is the listing agent, Anne or Kyle, feels a certain level of security knowing that somebody has taken a look at you, buyer, and said, this person is actually looking to buy a house. He or she is up to good, it's a legitimate interest in seeing something. This person has enough money to purchase this property, etc. And in the future, because we're not going to necessarily have agents coming to us, we will, I hope, in the main have it, but I'm going to have to start vetting these people for my own personal safety, the security of the home that I'm showing, and to not waste my time on people who can't afford the property.
Or the seller's time as they get the home ready to show and so forth. So we're going to say, buyer, I represent the seller, not you. Who are you? Can you afford this? Are you packing?
I'm not going to ask if they're packing but yes, by packing, yes.
So it's going to mean more work for us, which we're not saying we don't want to do that work, but in the past we got paid a certain amount for a listing commission. And you and I both know we have neither Kyle nor I do dual agency. Okay. Yeah. So we are used to representing our sellers, only our sellers, looking out for their best interest. If another agent comes and they're unrepresented, we know we do more work because they don't know as much. They are less informed. So it's really going to be a little bit of a challenge.
And it's interesting because I was thinking, so first of all, people, this is early days. There are going to be all sorts of practices, new rules, all sorts of stuff that will make us much more comfortable. We were informed of a sea change when we woke up and read the newspaper. It just went bam. So some of this is our first hot take on it. But one of the things I see is I personally see the value of a buyer's broker in keeping the buyer on track.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that they have to do certain activities within a certain amount of time because it's set forth in the contract.
Right.
And able to understand what they learn either through, let's just, for example, the condo docs, rules and regulations, the things that they have to do within the condo. It can sometimes feel like scary if you've never been in a condo before. You're sort of like, well, this is sort of scary. And then, but an experienced buyer's broker can help them understand this is very standard. You will get used to it. Here are the questions we need to ask.
Right.
Similarly, like Anne, you help people understand what they should what they read in an inspection report.
Sure.
No home is perfect, people. So we help you understand and offer you ways of limiting the risk coming out of an inspection report. These are all things that the buyer's agent does to manage the transaction and bring it to the closing table. Now Anne's going to have to do this with an unrepresented buyer, manage her seller who's got a lot of hoops to jump through too, but also try and keep this buyer who she does not represent on track.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting. All right. So for buyers, we think it might be a little bit more challenging in the short term as we navigate this new system. I mean, do you hire an agent or do you go alone? And if you hire one, how will you pay for your agent? Well, you have some choices. You can pay out of pocket, which most people don't want to do or aren't able to do because they're gathering the down payment money. You can pay from the transaction with a seller concession. And what we mean by that is, you know, in the past, you might offer $500,000 for a condo and ask for a $10,000 concession credit at the closing table to maybe do some construction work or something. The settlement says that there still can be a concession. You just can't call it the buyer's commission. So that might be a way, but that would have to be negotiated within the contract when you purchase the property. Then the other option, and the lenders are working on this, is they're trying to figure out a way that they can bake it into the mortgage. But as of now, you cannot. You can do decorating allowances to a certain percentage in your mortgage, but you can't call it anything other than a buyer credit. So,
well, and this is because, you know, in 2008, 2009, the mortgage industry threw the entire nation into disaster land because of not being rigorous about tying value to loans. I mean, anybody could have gotten a mortgage. So they're being much more strict and trying not to undo some of their practices that have kept the financial markets in better shape, at least the ones affected by mortgage-backed securities. So people, it's going to take some time to figure all of this out. And what do you think is, so here we have a summary.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think everybody understood before how it went, but it wasn't as separated. And there will be no dual agency, accidental or otherwise now, which I think is terrific. I'm 100% in favor of that. The process will be more transparent. It'll be very black and white, who's paying for what. There'll be no question about who represents whom. And while it's not until July that these changes take effect, we're going to start seeing these changes now, regardless of what the settlement says, right?
Yes. And NAR says these changes will be mandatory starting in mid-July, but each MLS can do whatever they want, and some may get ahead of it.
Right.
They're meeting our MLS was meeting last week, and I don't know what they met about. No one has reported to me. But we should expect it to come, that these changes may come sooner because the public has heard about them. And why, you know, but it takes because what they don't want to do is build in changes that end up they have to undo. So I hope they're going to be smart about it. I hope they're going to help us communicate to you folks about it. But that's, there we go.
That's it in a nutshell. I do have stats. They're very quick. What's a week with Kyle and Ann unless you look at stats, right? So this is very quick. And this is just March 1 to March 24 in our Lakefront communities. 342 single-family homes are on the market. 72 have closed so far this month. I thought this was interesting. We don't typically get to see this. The average market time for the closed is 95 days. Original list price average. Now, not a median price, remember, but this is average, so it's kicked up by the luxury. $1.5 million is the original list price. The actual list price at the time it went under contract was $1.3 million, and the average sales price $1.282 million.
Can we pause?
Sure.
So, hey, buyers out there, look at that. I have so many buyers who are like, I don't want to insult the seller and ask, make a price drop,
So they're looking at the $1.5 million house and saying, I don't want to offer $1.3 million. That would be too rude.
Listen, get on it. And first of all, sellers, note, you can't overreach. The market knows what your house is worth. Price it where it's worth and you'll get that or a little bit more. Yeah. 2, buyers, you find a house that you like that's overpriced, put in an offer where it should be, and you'll probably get it.
Yep. Or if not, you'll teach the seller something. Okay. All right. Attached, which means condos, co-ops, and townhomes, 33 on the market. 660 have closed so far this month. Same situation. Active 770. Original list price of those that sold 566. Actual 517, closed 514. Look at that. That's 99% of list price. Once you get to your target, you will sell very close. So guys, when your agent says this is your point, put it there.
Everyone is overreaching right now.
Yeah, exactly right.
Was 770 the average or was that the median list price?
That was the average.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it might be kicked up for higher list rate.
I'm with the program now.
Okay, so this is the weekly snapshot. We have lower closed listings than before for the past few weeks, but we do have some glimmers of hope. Kyle, check this out. We are higher for the last 5 weeks in properties under contract than the previous year.
Absolutely. Closed is a direct lagging indicator. Lagging, not dragging. Lagging indicator.
Right.
We're going to have
new listings. We've got more new listings coming on over the last few weeks. So it looks like the market's picking up here. Interestingly enough, guys, though, we are in March, which is supposed to be like good season. We're still in some ways below fall over here. So while it's coming up, it's not where we hope it would be. All right. Mortgage rates came down a little bit. Applications increased 7.1% on a seasonally adjusted basis. That's all good news. Oh my gosh, I have even worse news about rentals, Kyle. Look at this, 26% up. If you look versus last year for a 1-bedroom, up 31%, 2-bedroom, up 42%, 3-bedroom, up 39%. It's insane, absolutely insane where we are with rents right now. So
the heartbreak is, they're all heartbreaking, but look at that studio, which is nothing, and it's up 33% over last year.
Yeah.
Shocking, people.
It's insane. So,
yeah.
Woo.
Shall we end on a more fun note? Not end, but we're looking at properties. Oh, we're looking at bars.
So this is from Chicago Magazine. If you watch our show regularly, you know that we are huge fans, Kyle in particular, about basement bars. You got to love a good basement bar. And if you're from Chicago, you know this look. You know what you're about to see, and you're smiling. I know it. I
want these. Go ahead, show them.
4714 West Bryn Mawr, on the market for $700. Now, this was a couple weeks ago. I have to go look and see if it's still available.
I bet
somebody snatched it up by now, I'm sure. You gotta love a pink bathroom. You know, when we had our Michigan house, We had a bathroom like this, but it was in green and yellow. I loved that thing. I didn't redo it. I loved it. I kept it. But here's the bar.
I would buy
Isn't that awesome?
This. And I would want the pictures. I'd want the caricatures.
Well, this thing just sings in so many ways. I love the colors of the bar stools. You got the retro bar stool. You got the caricatures.
You got the stone, the lake stone.
Yes.
I love it.
It's the best. Look at this.
Look at that.
It's a real bar. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel like writing a letter to these new owners, whoever they're going to be, and saying, "Oh, please enjoy your bar.
Can I come? Yeah. Have a party and let us all come."
I'll throw the party if they'd let me come. Are you kidding me? Look at the rest of it. Now, we used to have a sailfish. We named him Chico, but Chico fell when our house flooded. It was very sad. But look at that. I could be so happy in that basement.
I would live in that basement.
Right? I know. Okay. 7740 West Giddings in Norridge. 459. Look at that. 459,000 for the price of a 2-bedroom condo, people. Okay. Hardwood floors. Updated kitchen. Right. Check it out, baby.
Oh,
isn't that the best?
The best.
I know. I would take down the asbestos tile. I would do something about
I don't know.
Well, it's not like asbestos, but the fake ceiling.
Well, there's so many pipes. They're like, how do I hide the pipes?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But again, marvelous bar. So next week I'll come back and tell you what happened to these, and we're going to follow them. And maybe we should even go knock on their door with our camera.
Love.
Can you imagine if we did that? That'd be so great. All right. It's still not 8:00. I want you to show your houses.
We'll show that. So I did, people, just for fun. 2 different houses, 2 different condos, same price, totally different.
Love it.
Houses.
Pop them up. Oh, do I need to?
I think you have to pop them up. I got it from here. This is 510 West Arlington Place. It's on the market for just about 1.9 million. And as you see, it's a nice big house. Here's the thing, and it's so true about Arlington Place, no parking. And it's on an alley, but that means it's got more light, but it's also on an alley, so you can hear you're going to hear the garbage men, but so what? It's here's also a thing. The listing talks so much about how great it is to walk, how great it is to take the bus. So there is no parking. But look at this house. So they've kept some of in this area here, they've kept the original details. Look how pretty that is.
Is that like a hall tree bench thing that's built in over there?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And really pretty, nice, whatever that stone is for the kitchen and family room. Really pretty. Lake stone. Yeah. And because here's the bar, people, Chicago basement bar. You see it?
Yeah, I do. It's not as flashy as the others, but it works.
You can flash it up.
Yeah.
And a pretty backyard.
Very nice. Yes.
Now, interestingly, the seller is a real estate agent. And I'd like to take him aside and say, you're a real estate agent. Couldn't you have taken pictures of your exterior during the summertime?
Or come on, pay a couple of bucks to box brownie and green it up. I've done that before. It makes a big difference.
Listen, at some point you're going to have to sell your house. Take pictures. Okay. Yeah. And here are it's as you see.
Okay, let me interrupt one more time. People, if you haven't heard this before, I want you to hear me now. Look straight into my eyes. Kyle and I will hire a professional to take photos of your home this summer, whether you sell this summer or 5 years from now. We will do that for you.
Yes.
Give us a call.
Okay. Here's the thing. It makes such a difference, especially in January. When people see a beautiful summer, they're like, oh my God, summer's coming.
It's very aspirational.
So pretty house. Okay, so here's different. This is in Wicker Park. It's on a little street called Elk Grove Avenue. I haven't even heard of it. $14.39, and it's on the market for $1.9 million.
Same
But
price. Yeah.
They did not report the size. I feel that is close to criminal.
I know, but you know what? I saw you flip through this. It's because they have some open air.
Who cares? Report it.
I know, but it's going to make it look a lot smaller.
I understand.
But, yeah, I get it.
So here's the front porch. Really cute. So they've got a lot of outdoor space, of which I have pictures of some. Look at that front entrance.
That's really
beautiful.
snappy.
Beautiful. So different from the traditional house, but glorious. I mean, look at gloriousness. That's a nice bathroom, people. And
it's kind of interesting. You go from your bathtub to the outdoor deck.
And flash all your neighbors. Here's another outdoor deck, not the same outdoor deck, different outdoor deck. And another.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, yeah.
So very pretty. Okay. So now I'm removing from the stage, and now you're going to pop up the condos because we only have a few seconds.
The Berry.
The Berry, a wonderful old Grand Dame building in Lakeview. So this is, it's on the market for $600,000. It's Unit 6E. And as you see, it's got sort of a higher HOA. It's an older building. It doesn't have as many units as the next building, but you get this for 2,200 square feet for just 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it has laundry. So here we go. Very much a traditional, vintage, beautiful. Those floors you will never get in a modern building because they're just beautiful. So, wood burning fireplace. The kitchen's been done.
The kitchen, yeah.
That pot filler.
Like that.
Who doesn't love a pot filler? Except me, because I don't really cook. But
I don't either. Yeah, but that's okay.
You get a bonus room because you get a dining room. It's traditional. It's only 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, but you have this bonus dining room, which I would make my office and lounge.
Yes, yes.
Pretty bedroom.
Nice
Just to give you a sense. It's got, as you see up here, the air conditioning comes through Space Pack. So it's got all the modern conveniences. Now, this is not the main bathroom, but you get to see it's an original bathroom, which is clean, but also kind of great. You know, there are people who love the original vintage, and this has it. I mean, look at those lights up above the vanity. It's darling. Okay, and here's their gym. Now we go. Oh, and here's our outdoor space. They have a nice outdoor space. They also have a room. They also have a room that's like a children's playroom, but I didn't have any pictures. Then comparing it to 860 West Blackhawk, which you can get for $1 less.
So Blackhawk this is close to the Whole Foods at where Sheffield and North Avenue come together, in that area right there behind Clybourne by the Apple store, if you're not sure where this location is.
Or by my favorite place on earth, the Container Store. So this is the kind of apartment, the kind of living you have. It's only did I tell you it's so it's 1,436 square feet, so 800 square feet less. Pretty big difference, but you get this beautiful modern feel and a great view. Look at that view. I mean, some of it's a car park, but a lot of it is green, and so very pretty. Look at your outdoor space, private, really very attractive, nice, covered. And this is the bedrooms. And here's a typical bath. Now, this is a builder's original bath, but it's still just fine. People, put the light bulbs. All the light bulbs go in before pictures.
I know.
But this is their gym, and this gym is actually a lot bigger than that. There were like 5 pictures of the gym. Wow. So
you can tell this was built for the young, hip,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what we got today.
I love that. I love the comparison, the location comparison, the size, the style for the same price. Everybody, Chicago has great housing stock. I saw a post on Facebook this week, and it said, people have either seen all the beautiful architecture and embrace it that we have, or they've never been to Chicago. I thought that was cute.
I've got a bunch of listings for which people who are moving into the city back from Texas, California, other places. People are coming to Chicago. Don't believe the narrative that everyone's leaving. People are coming. It's really
I had a couple from Texas who were so excited to move here that they at my open house yesterday. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Yay.
Chicago's a great city. We love it. Good seeing you this week.
Good to see you. See you guys next week.
Yep, we'll be here. We'll be strong. Send us your comments. Take care, everybody.